G'day guys, it's Matt here. Welcome to the channel. This is part 2 of the work on the dozers. We've swapped the tracks over on Tiny 2 and Tiny 3, and that is all in the previous video, so check that one out if you haven't seen it already. But what we're up to now is we've got Johnny up here. He's going to help me do this. We're pulling all the GPS stuff out of Tiny 2. You need some cutters, Johnny?
Yes.
So we've got this to come out, got this box back here to come out, and all the wiring connecting them all. So we'll get into that. Righto, so we got all of that box out. We just got a cable here, and where's the other cables? These ones. So they go through there, so I'm going to have to, I think, open up the hellhole here and get to them through there. Not really a graceful way to get in here, but righto. Right, so that one there goes up to here.
Yeah, man, they help pull some wire out.
There we go. Well, you can pull that through from your end.
Okay.
Yeah, keep going. That's it. Righto, so now I think the only other cable goes in behind the dash up there. So I've got to just find that one now. That's this one that's hanging around my head. There we go. Righto, so I just got to pop that dash off and that should all come through. Well, we've got pretty well all the harness out. We've just got the power cable which goes down through there to the batteries, which Johnny is disconnecting. Then I can pull that through and then just need to put this back together. So shouldn't be too much longer. The only trouble is this little bracket here. It's a bit of a different setup in the other one, so we're just not sure how we're going to work that because we need this bit here. Well, we're in Tiny 3 and we've managed to pull a few things apart. Now I didn't actually take any footage of before I took it apart, but the strip that went along the top there was a little bit different to the other one, so Johnny's just got that now. He's drilling a few holes in it so he can move a few things over. There was an e-stop where we wanted to put the bracket for the GPS, so we're going to move the e-stop over to this side. And yeah, then the tacho, obviously it just sits there. There's some holes there that it bolts to. So yeah, we should have GPS mounted there and e-stop over here, and that should fit, hopefully. There's no exact science here, it's just see what works. Well, it's still looking like a mess, but we are making progress, I believe. We've got this mounted on there, and we've just got to do a bit of fiddling around here to get that to sit where we want it to, and then we'll be ready to start putting it all together, I think. And hopefully it all fits and we've got enough cable length where we need to. There was a bit of dramas trying to get the cable down through here, which goes down into the hellhole, but we got there in the end. Well, this will be the last update for the day, but we have pretty well done this bit anyway. So, got the GPS mounted. You can move that around a bit as needed. We've got everything back, got the e-stop back there. The e-stop was over there, so move that. Dash is back in. Haven't tested it yet, so hopefully there's no fires, smoke or sparks when we turn the isolator on, but we probably won't be back here tomorrow. It'll probably be in 2 days time, and so yeah, we'll just leave it there for the minute. Well, g'day guys, we're back here at the development block. So yeah, we're working on the dozers today. Got Brad there ferreting away. Josiah's on the New Holland tractor there, and we're just about to put these idlers that were on Tiny 3 onto Tiny 2. Now, to clarify what I said in the last video, these idlers for the tracks are an absolute great thing in normal conditions, whether it's a mine site or whatever. It does prolong the life of all the components there, but dramas you get from that idler just blocking up all the time, it's just not worth it for us. So in the normal situation they're a great thing to have, but for us not so much. Well, so I just got that other roller going on, then we'll be swapping over to this side. But in the meantime, there's been a slight plan change. We're just going to hold off on the GPS swapping over because we're at a bit of a stage that now we can just leave it for a bit. But what we're going to do is we're going to try and get the rippers back in here. So they're just in the ground over there. And then we're going to be putting the blade on Tiny 3, I believe. So that would be Tiny 2's blade. Well, that was Tiny 2's blade. It's going to be going on Tiny 3. And then we will, yeah, by that stage, hopefully all this one will be done as well, and then we can probably put the blade on this one. So this is a sophisticated way to tighten the tracks. How many grease cartridges you gone through, Johnny?
3 on this side.
Yeah, righto. So yeah, there's just a grease nipple in there, and that just expands a little tube or whatever you call it in there, and then this pops this out, so you might be able to just see it moving. Alright, let's make the trek up here without hitting my head. We'll go back up to these rippers and get them hooked up, hopefully. Well, that went on pretty good actually. Sometimes it can be a bit fiddly, but I think just having it all set up here ready to go with the stands and everything, it yeah, she went in pretty nice. So we're actually just going to have a bite to eat, and just so none of us get too grumpy, and then we will get back to this and start bolting this all up, and hydraulic hoses and all that sort of stuff. I'd heard Brad say that the power pack has stopped working, so that may make things a little bit more difficult. Might have to have a look at that and see why that's not working. So what we're just trying to do is, you've got all these little shims in here, which allow you to just take, as you know, things wear out and it flogs out the ball here, you can just take a couple of shims out and close that up a bit so it gets rid of the slop. So we're just trying to get a good balance at the minute of what we want, so it can be a bit tricky trying to just get it right. You do want a bit of movement, just not too much. Well, looks like there's a bit more going on with Tiny 3. Well, it actually was Tiny 2's blade, but we had to pull out the tilt ram on this side because it was all flogged out here. And this is the ram over here. Makes the ute look small. But yeah, the bearing that goes in here is all flogged out and no more, basically. It's disintegrated, so it's going to need a bit of work to press that out and yeah, muck around with that for a bit. So I'm going to take that back up to the main farm. But also what is happening is we're going to be taking the ROPS off Tiny 2, and yeah, we just have to do that for when it gets transported, so going to do that now. Now I think we're going to go and try and get this blade on. Well, we're making good progress with Tiny 2, so we're just sort of getting it prepped and ready for when it needs to go on a truck, so that's why the ROPS is off. The blade can fit, we've just got to take off the little the cutting edges on the sides. The only thing we've got left to sort of do is with Tiny 3, there's just a couple little bits to do with the GPS. We've got pretty well the bulk of it all done. We've just got to run a couple of cables, so it's nothing really hard at all. I do just have to extend a power cable into the batteries. So yeah, we're going to just keep fiddling away, making sure we're gotten a few things tidied off. The little hydraulic power pack, it's actually the brushes were worn in the motor, so I've got to go back and try and track down some of them or make up some. Well guys, we're back here at the main farm, just a few things getting worked on. Got Brad over there doing that. I think he's oxyed out the bearing housing on that ram, and Josiah's welding on fixing some tines from the boss planter. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to sort out these brushes for that power pack, so we can at least just use it today. And what we're going to have to do is I'm rating the brushes out of this. They're a little bit different, a little bit smaller, but what I'm going to do, and it's not advised, but I'm just going to cut the cable on this one and solder them together. It should be okay because it's not, and it doesn't run hot. It doesn't work hard, the motor really, so it's not going to get overly hot on the brushes, which could then potentially melt the joins. So they're the only sort of closest brushes I can find, and we can easily get new brushes for this. So, and we've got another one there, so we don't need it immediately. And just in the meantime, hopefully it'll work so we can finish the job, and then we'll order some proper ones for it. Righto, so we got one done. Now for a free tip, when you're joining any copper wires together that you don't want the solder to run all the way up, if you just dab a bit of oil, any oil, whether it's just multi-purpose lubricant or whatever, you just dab it either side of the join, and then when you solder the middle bit, it won't run up, because if you get too much heat or too much solder in here, it would make that whole piece of wire stiff. But at the minute it's got plenty of flexibility still, and it's the right length, and I think that'll be fine. So I just got to do the other one, and then I think should be ready to go. The other thing I nearly forgot to say too was most times you can put the spring on afterwards. So you solder it together without the spring, and then you just feed the spring on by just turning it around. Just have to be very careful though, it can fatigue and wear out the copper in some of the spots, so just got to be very careful with that, but that's an easy way of joining them without worrying about the spring. I'd have to do a segment Matt's dodgy repairs, but we'll see if it works first. So currently got Brad and Josiah trying to manoeuvre that into our press here, which we have been talking about needing a bigger one. Well, moment of truth. See if these work. Righto, I knew that would probably be the case. I just got to file down the side of them a little bit. They're just a bit too fat to fit. Beautiful. Well, I think we've had a win, so that's good. We can, I think all we've got to do is just torque up the idler here. That's sort of when it died, so. But now at least we've got this back and running. We can, yeah, we can do some other things. We've got mid rollers to do on Tiny 3, and I think that's about it for the power pack. I don't know what else we might need it for, but you never know. Well, all we've got to do is just replace that one mid-roller on Tiny 3, and we do have some hoses that may or may not be made up today for that that ram, on that tilt ram, so we may not get that back in today, but yeah, there's always more to be done. Well, this might be the last time we move, well, I move Tiny 2. Could be any moment when the truck comes to pick it up, so I'll just move him out of the road. Well, there we go. Certainly been some good memories. So the other thing actually that did happen was we repaired the balcony here. So it was all had been crushed by a tree or a branch. So we got that all back on. Well guys, that'll be it for this video. So just remember to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one.